y'all, today we are doing a full-on review of the Hourglass Vanish Airbrush Concealer. This came out just recently. I got it in store at Sephora. It was $34 and there are 22 shades. Now, if you've watched any of my previous videos, I'm not the biggest fan of the Vanish line in general. I hated the liquid foundation. The stick is okay. It's not my favorite. I know it's a lot of people's holy grail, but it's just okay for me. But I was intrigued by this because it has some big claims. It says it's a full coverage, weightless, and waterproof concealer with microspherical powders, not sure, that blurs and brightens for up to 16 hours of skin perfection. It says the coverage is full, finish is natural, and formulation is liquid. Now, I don't agree with all of these claims. I don't think it blurs my skin at all. I don't think it wears 16 hours. It will wear 16 hours. It's just not nicely. It doesn't wear nicely for 16 hours, but it does get, I would say on me, I would say it gets probably 6 to 8 hours of nice wear. And the waterproof claim, I can say that I actually pulled a nose hair out, a few actually, and my eyes started watering and it did not just slide off. So that actually could be a really big bonus for a lot of people if they're, okay, and I just choked on my own spit. But if their eyes water a lot, I literally took a beauty blender and kind of just tapped around and it looked perfect, even after I had already set it. So yeah, if you guys want to see the application of this, full details on it, I actually did a first impressions, but my files got corrupted, so I decided I'm just gonna wear it several more days, really get my full opinion on it. So yeah, if you guys want to see how I like this, how it works, all the details, then I hope you subscribe and click that bell and let's hop in. Okay, let's go ahead and apply this. I have this in the shade Pearl. This is what the lady who worked for Hourglass said was one of the two more corrector-like shades. And I really do prefer a more peachy, cool-toned concealer. It's weird because I do have a very warm undertone, but I just think these look, the shades just look better on me and they conceal it really, really well. This has an awesome doe foot. It's really flexible and I love that about it. I'm not gonna do too much. Sorry, I'm looking down at my mirror, but I don't want to put too much on. I think that this is buildable, so I'm gonna do one initial layer and then if we want more, we'll build it up. It is not completely matte. It's more of a, I would say a satin matte. It does have a little bit of moisture in it, a little bit of extra shine. It's not just super flat matte, and I definitely enjoy that. I don't like a super matte concealer all of the time. I mean I do sometimes, like Shape Tape's pretty matte on me. The e.l.f. Camo concealer is incredibly matte. Like I want something that has a little bit of movement to it. I don't want it to set immediately, so I want a little bit of time to kind of play with it, move it around, and this does give me that. You see how it still has some shine to it. It's not matte. It doesn't set super quickly. This does, where I have used this on several occasions, it does get into my fine lines a little bit more than other concealers, but it doesn't look bad. I know with some of them, it can look pretty dang heavy and kind of cakey and crumbly. It's not like that, but it does settle a little bit more than some other ones. I'm going to just really lightly build this up right here. That's more of a problem area for me. But this doe foot, You guys can see it really has some give there, and I love that. I love how it's pointed. I think it's really kind of a huge plus when it's a doe foot like that. I'm just gonna blend this out, and it definitely brightens me up a little bit, but not much. This is, I'm kind of, they do have a really good shade range, but it's kind of like with the more corrector shades, the more peach tone shades. They only have 2 in the whole line, and this one's actually quite dark. It really doesn't brighten me up at all. I'm more of a medium skin tone right now. I'm at my lightest, that's for sure. But if you have a lighter skin tone, this is not gonna work for you. But you could always put this on, kind of cancel everything out with that peachiness, and then put a lighter concealer on top, or even a lighter powder. That's not something that I'm going to do, but I like it. I really do like it. We are going to set it so you can see how it looks set versus more dewy as it is right now. I'm going to run my sponge over like the under eye really close, like where my creases are, one more time, and then we are going to set this with the Urban Decay Velvetizer. The lady at Sephora again told me that you don't want to overset this. If you use too much powder, it can really start to look heavy and cakey. And I have tried that. I've actually baked with this, and I don't really like that, which I don't like baking in general. Kind of makes your under eyes up close, it makes them look really cakey and crepey, and that's not my favorite. So I did try it just to see how it looks, and it looks heavy, very heavy. So I'm just lightly setting it, and you can see which this powder is my favorite. You guys know that. But look at the difference. This side looks very smooth, very matte, very poreless, and this side has a definite glow to it. So this is not a matte concealer. I do agree it is more of a natural finish. In fact, I think it's a little more on the glowy side. So I definitely prefer to set this. If you don't set it, it will move around where it isn't matte. But I normally always set my concealer anyway, so that's not a big deal for me. But once you do set this, it does stay in place really, really nicely. I'm gonna set just a few other places around the face and the nose. My nose is a super, super high maintenance part of my face. It likes to give me troubles. Okay, so I'm gonna go off camera, finish up the rest of the face, and then we will talk about this a little bit more. Okay, this is our finished look. I really like the way everything turned out. So let's talk a little more about this concealer. Of course, my phone is going to go off. Let's kind of pro and con it. I really like how it's more of a satin finish. I don't think it's matte at all. I would say satin. I like that it's a satin finish. I like that it doesn't dry down too quickly. I really like how the doe foot is pointed and very flexible. I love the way that moves. It's just easy on the skin. It doesn't pull, it doesn't tug, it doesn't hurt at all. I'm sorry, my hair is so jacked up. But yes, I love all of that. I think this is pretty long wearing, but once it starts to get to about the 8-hour mark on me, it starts to look a bit heavier. It's not that it starts to look super bad, but it does start to look a little bit heavier. It does start to bunch up a little bit more. Like I said, it does get into my fine lines a little bit more than others do, but I don't mind it that much. It's really up close that you can see all of these kind of little imperfections. The shade range is really good, 22 shades, but I don't know, I kind of don't like how they only did the 2 corrector shades. and there's not a light one and there's not a dark one. It kind of leaves a lot of area out there. On the description it says that it's blurring and this and that. I don't think it's blurring at all. That one I don't agree with. I do think it is buildable full coverage. I don't think it's full coverage just boom right off the bat, but it is buildable full coverage. I really do like the coverage. I think it feels really nice on the skin as I've worn it every day. I've had this, gosh, for over a week. I know I've worn it at least a week. And it does feel nice on the skin. If you do overset it, it can feel heavy and kind of look cakey. But as long as you kind of scale it back, don't overdo it, it looks really nice. I do agree with that. But this concealer is $34, and I have to say, I still like my $9 NYX concealer better. Now, this is $9 at the get-go, but you do not get much product. And I hate this applicator. I hate it. But the actual formula, I like this better. It's kind of like they're both dewy. They are moisturizing. They're not matte. But it's just that the NYX wears better on me. I can wear that for 16 hours and it won't budge. It never looks heavy or cakey. It never feels heavy or cakey. The Hourglass does feel heavier throughout the day, and that's one drawback for me. And then just upon initial application, this looks beautiful, but I still think this looks better. I think this is a good concealer, but me personally, I have other favorites. But this one is nice. I do recommend it overall, but I don't think this is an amazing product that you need to run out and buy, especially for $34. So again, it's a good concealer. It's not a great concealer. It does work. It works pretty nicely. But like I said, there's others that I like a lot better, and they're actually more affordable. And even the money aside, I just don't like this formula as much. I don't. So I hope you guys enjoyed this full-on review. Like I said, I did do a first impressions, but it didn't work out. So I got to try this even more and get my full thoughts on it. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this. If you did, I hope you subscribe and click that bell, and I hope to see you in my next one. Bye guys.